it's really normal.
I think it's so much better than we're friends.
So it's actually, in general, it can be so, but the specific situations where obviously it works. So how do we move forward? I think the middle question, would sort of skip it. You've written down the answers. If you want to talk about it, but I really want to know what you want your life to be about. All right? So either it's we'll do one more round, just gently reflecting and sharing, and what is your life about? Is the question.
Yes, that is what the question is. I really wish that I had an answer, but I do not have an answer yet. I'm working on that every single day. Reading books, making notes, writing whatever comes into my head. But right now I'm trying to just sort of be open to what, this might totally sound kind of cliche too, but the universe is kind of wanting me to do, go in that direction. I've spent a lot of time in my life fighting against it and being like, no, I want to go in this direction. Just leave me alone to do my own thing. I'm in control of my life, like stay away from me. And it didn't really work out very well. So I'm trying to follow the flow, and we'll see, I guess, where it takes me. But I feel like one of the things that has been coming up a little bit more often with all the yoga stuff is finding a way to, I guess, remove suffering from people's lives, whether it be that they're, really stressed or have an injury or whatever suffering there is, whether it be this tiny little thing or this huge thing. I really want to help people by empowering them to be able to remove that suffering from their lives. Because I've had the same sort of thing with you in the past, where it's always just been do what this other person says and they know better kind of thing. And then finally as I started doing yoga, I felt more empowered to be like, no, I'm going to go in this direction. I'm not going to listen to you anymore because I know what's best for me, and I'm going to try this and I think it will work. And if I believe in it, then I think it really will work, and that kind of thing. So I'd like to be able to give back all of these things to people, but not necessarily just through yoga, through writing or any other type of format that I might be interested in as well. So I guess I see it going in that kind of direction, but it's sort of really vague right now. There's not really a specific thing right now. So we'll see.
Thank you.
It's a good big surprise.
Merry Christmas!
So actually this workshop is a part of you getting clearer. And I personally heard very clear, as I learn to release my own suffering, I want to help create that for others. Is the essence of it, and then you'll get some more details.
On how to do that, yes.
And then the other thing I've really learned is that everything you've done in your life is a piece, it's a part of what you will do. So nothing is wasted.
Yes.
Everything is included. All the adventures you've had.
Yes.
All the struggles.
All the struggles mostly, but hopefully adventures going forward. And I hope that all of those struggles gave you the tools that I need to be able to do it.
And there's a sort of, again, there's a sort of commitment to that yatra is about deep healing. It's not just about set movements, it's a mind, body, spirit, deep healing process. And there's a lot of opportunities to use yoga in ways that are different than what's been done in the past. And so it was creating a sort of integrating healing and yoga in a sort of therapeutic way. And I think part of the reason why you're called here is because you're also not just teachers, but also healers.
Even the word yatra means a spiritual journey.
Spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Well, on that caveat, it's like, exactly, in India, I actually found out who I was. For real, like who Cheryl was, instead of being the actor, the singer, the stunt person. Like these are the job titles I've had for the last 10 years of my life. And I came into being a yoga teacher and everything else has been falling into place because of it. So it's the moment I allowed myself just to be me and be accepted for me, and I don't give a shit about what other people think about me anymore. It's the moment I actually stepped in, and being a yoga teacher is what actually empowered me to link up all the dots of everything else in my life. So the more I get in my teaching for yoga, and the more I'm empowering other people, is actually empowering me to be better at all the other things I'm pursuing in my life, which is my singing and my acting, and actually going forward with that in my life. So it's all now just a synergy of everything working together. And then the last years have been about me coming out of the closet, like saying, okay, to all my martial artist people, they know me as a sensei. I've been doing martial arts my whole life, and I'm a yoga teacher now. And no, I'm not gonna levitate off a cushion and give you great insights in life. I'm just gonna simply teach you, and if you want to heal your own bodies, then come to my class, kind of type deal, right? And now it's like, and I've come out of the closet slowly but surely that I've been taking healing trainings for like 7 years. And been doing extensive chakra training and dealing with different courses, training in power and taking Melchizedek method, all of these courses. And I wouldn't even tell anybody about it because I was always worried I'm a freak enough. My goodness, everyone's gonna really think I'm a freak now. Oh, what, you can read minds too? Like, oh God, what don't you do? And it was like the last thing I wanted in my life. But now it's being the yoga teacher has brought me there, and now I say I'm a yoga teacher healer. So, and that's where I'm coming to my life right now, at this exact moment, which has been, as I've been speaking with Alexander about, it's been a bit of a struggle because it takes away some validity of me and my other life, right? It's like, oh, now you're all flighty and you're this. So it's been a hard transition for me settling into being, like, first of all, a yoga teacher, which I'm doing fine at, but now it's attaching the healer part to it. And having that validation that I've worked hard at it, and I've gone to school longer for that than I did my profession. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, but yet it seems that I'm given not the validation because, oh, you've been to university for acting. Oh, you're an actor. I went to stunt school. You're a stunt person. I went to singing school. You're a singer. Now I went to yoga teacher. You're a healer. How? Right? But it's like, even though I've done all the courses and the work, it doesn't feel like I'm quite there yet. So that's that last little push.
Well, it clicks. Again, I had a sort of similar phase where I felt very fragmented, and I had all these different parts of me, and I could go one place and be one person, another place and be another person.
Right.
And it really was distressing because I couldn't be authentic.
Right.
And then it actually melded into an integrated way of being, and I'm just in a flow. So there's a stage of feeling frustrated, and then you move through it to feeling integrated.
Okay. And I think that Yatra is honestly, this is the bridge for me, and this is the reason why I've come here. I was called to come here. I stopped my classes teaching at a dojo. I said, no, I have to teach at a yoga studio. I have to break away from that ideology of what people look at me as, that now that I'm at a yoga studio, I'm a yoga teacher, and now I can do healing out of here, and I can, integrate myself further that way. And that was a big step for me to make to come here, right?
And you're very eclectic. I can actually call myself a recovering eclectic.
I'm a recovering actor and a recovering dancer. So yeah.
So it'd be fun to be around you, actually.
Thank you very much.
I'm so glad I decided to sit next to you.
Send you good vibes.
Yeah, thank you. I've actually been thinking about this a lot lately because I've tried a bunch of different things in my life and a bunch of different paths. Very fragmented, I suppose you could say. And I've just kind of come to the same conclusion over and over again recently, where I had this like aha moment, and I go to write it down, and I see that I wrote it down like 3 other times, just in different words. And I'm like, well, I guess that's it then. And I just have come to the conclusion that I just want to live a life that's not defined by my job. It's not defined by what I do, but rather by how I live my life. And so that's kind of what I want to work towards, rather than a career, rather than, I realize that we do live in a society that requires me to make money, but my main focus is going to be just how can I better myself as a person? How can I, I constantly want to be learning more and further educating myself and that sort of thing, and I feel like I've been doing a lot of different paths, and it's kind of been this like holistic approach to bring me to that realization. And
Yeah, just living more consciously, more compassionately, and now my newest thing is like getting in touch with being more eco-friendly and getting in touch with like the little hippie inside me. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with my life.
Beautiful. I think you've arrived at the right place.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm up. So I'm still kind of thinking a lot about what my life is really about, but I think in a nutshell, kind of following my intuition and living my truth is really what I want to put out there. So I've been a mother for 20 years, so I think I've kind of lost a lot of me raising my children, and now it's kind of, it is about me, and I've kind of decided that, right? I've ended up in a career that, you know, supports my family, but now I want to be alive inside. I don't just kind of want to go through my day and come home and make dinner, da-da-da. So yoga to me has really brought that spark and that life to me, and now I'm just kind of going further and taking more spiritual classes and more talks and more lectures and going to retreats and really finding all this beautiful passion inside me that is just, to me, is amazing. Of course, my kids think it's a hippie stage. But, I mean, I feel myself growing all the time. And like you said, things fall on me. Like it's, you know, I kind of put things aside, oh, no, that's, you know, I can't do that. But it keeps coming back and it keeps coming back. And as much as I push it away, I can't. Like it just, it's kind of like the kids' yoga almost, that it keeps coming back to me. So it's been great, and Yacha's been an excellent place for me to learn and grow, and I really enjoy my class. So.
I wrote down 3 words.
Me.
No, I wrote down evolution and happiness and exploration.
Ah.
Yeah. And see, I have this, okay, there's a little story that I'll tell. The Maharishi Yogi, the guy who the Beatles saw back in the day.
I sat in his spot in India. I went to his ashram.
Did you?
Yeah,
That's
I
so
sat
cool.
in the spot where he sat. Yeah.
See,
When I
and he did
picture
this
me, I'm just
thing,
like,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's
He
insane.
gathered 1% of the population in that area together.
Yeah.
And they all meditated on peace and love. And what happened was remarkable because there were 75% less violent acts in that area. And they did more studies about it. And they started to realize that just the simple act of a big group of people meditating together on love actually does seep into the collective consciousness, I guess you could call it, and starts to infect people. And we get infected all the time. So next time you're mad or angry or frustrated, really sit back and ask yourself if it's yours. Because it might be just all the other stuff that's around you that's coming through. So that was the evolution part of my way to take over the world. Yes. I really think that, I really believe in that. And I think that the more people we can start to infect, then the more that we're all going to lift ourselves up. See, this really neat thing happens in mathematics. It's called the regression to the mean. And that just means that it doesn't matter if you're up here or down here. There's a happy medium that both situations go toward. And no matter where you are, if you're in an office building and you're trying to make your office co-workers look bad, it actually makes you look worse. So everything regresses toward a mean. So it's in your benefit to elevate everyone around you, because then it will regress toward a higher being. And so I really think that this yatra thing that we're all helping to nourish and grow is probably my biggest life destiny or goal or whatever you want to call it. It sounds so epic, but it's really quite simple. We're just spreading our knowledge and our experiences, and through that then raising other people up. Yeah. And then of course that comes with the most important thing in life, I think, is happiness and bliss. I always tell my son, "You happy today?" "Yes." "Okay, good, then you did a good job." go to bed now. And exploration, so we can get to that evolution and that happiness through exploring and being curious and not being afraid to make mistakes, because, you know, yeah, it's the only way that we can get to the bottom of it. That's it for me.
All of that?
Well, a lot of what I feel my life is about is so much in line with what you were just saying. Yeah, so obviously bringing what we're providing to more people, building community, building the ability to help raise other people up, the ability to support ourselves while we do it at the same time is just what I really want to be able to create for ourselves, and that's really something that I, just want to keep nurturing and watering so it grows and blossoms. And I think it's moments like these when we come together, we can keep building that. Does that make sense? Good. Health, happiness, joy, bliss, all the good things, abundance, beauty, loving what you do, having a balanced life, like, yeah.
I've got 3 words too. We all have like 3 words. I put love, peace, and ascension.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So mine is about actually doing this. And what I want my life to be about is being in a room with people like you doing this work. Building community, and there's a sort of different sort of organisation. We all work in regular businesses, and there's a challenge that creates. You can move into like a non-profit, and that's another set of challenges that's very deeply unsatisfying for people. And then you can move into what's called an organisation that's for purpose, and it's at an even higher level. It's a sort of newly emerging thing. So this is what I would call a for-purpose organisation. And deep healing, deep learning, and adventure, and exploration, making it up as we go along because there are no rules for us, and being abundant. The challenge is, you've got to take a job in the regular world and live with everybody else, which is part of the journey, but then to create a sort of career life that's deeply fulfilling at a new level, which isn't very much seen out in the world. So there's an abundance and affluence. And I love doing individual work with people, like one-on-one coaching, counseling. And then it's also how we work together wisely. So my own business tag is I'm a collaboration consultant, where I help people to work together wisely. And so often when we gather with others, sort of our shadow comes up, our egos flare up, and there's a way to harness all that and heal it, and to create a lot of growth out of the differences that are in the room. So this to me is heaven, just being with you, listening to you all, and sharing. And you're my teachers too, you see. I'm not, I learn from you, and it's just such a blessing to be in your presence, and to share the wisdom that you have. Okay? So that sort of wraps up the sort of introduction rounds. Before we do wrap it up completely, is there anything anyone would like just to sort of say as a sort of, a parting comment before we move on? If you've got anything else you'd like to pop into the group and sort of add?
I think I just wanted to say thank you very much to Alexandra and Nina for coming up with the idea to have this meeting and future meetings and creating a place where we can actually come together as teachers and work towards something that we all want to work towards. And I just think it's really great what you guys are doing.
Here, here. Yeah.
Thanks for helping us out.
Nice having that.
Yeah. So I also teach on the Canadian school and the naturopathic school, and I have the same sort of, I call this form of loneliness, where you never really, everybody meets you, but you never really get to be with your peers. It's an odd sort of place, you get paid. as you're walking in, somebody else is walking out, and as you walk out, somebody else is walking in, and you never really get to know each other, you never really get to meet and share and have a peer development process. And also, you never get to be human, you always got a title. And so it's to recognize our humanity, and we're people on a journey, it's like everybody else on a journey. So yeah, and so we really hope that one of the things that makes Yatra unique is the bond that the teachers have, and the sharing and the healing they go through together. And so one of the questions, I just have to check where I'm in my process. Okay, yeah, no, that's later on. I've got a question. So the question is, and think about it, you don't have to answer it now. What's unique about Yatra Yoga? Why did I choose to come here? There's something special about this place. And each of you will have an answer to that question. And then later on we're going to share it. It just helps us all to understand who we are when we're here. However, the next step is to actually go to the motivational interviewing part. And there's handouts for that. So we've all got. And I'll explain, you've got a blank sheet. So I'll explain this. So this is from what